the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Atiefo kwakakopiem ewo Joy News ene anapay na Denise Miracles Aboagye na wono na ye Dr. Arahad Mahmoud Bawumia age na 2024 general election no wudimu atintima anya asem ketwa atim the interview chenche bi ahyehyɛ so efa galamsey issues a ewo oman konkron Ghana ha na bohye ahodro kese a NDC amayeko hye ya obabam ba kokoro ni wa watimedi so no yenko na kokoti bi na Joy News for yenim se NDC amayeko atomo na wohwe kwan ya na wo mo pese wo mo faso na je se wo mo dane nsem o interview no mu a Denise Miracles Aboagye kire mo se masa mo kama no tum ye ti aban mu no de mo Joy News for mo ye edu aban we so de mo pese mo dandan niema yenko na kokoti bi Denise Miracles Aboagye ensem a odigu ho efa NDC amayeko failure to fight galamsey and ahintase bebra efa galamsey issues we ho nieba Nsem-Pii TV said the dada any T4 Nsem ho do go so no ye besan e de kan ye na T4.
Let's start with galamsey. Again, it's okay to count the numbers, the days, the weeks, or the months that this new government has just started. What can you say about the fight against galamsey currently?
Let me find Ben. Me, I'm a very, very strongly opinionated person. And that is why a lot of people will tell you that if I'm not factual, I don't speak to issues. When these galamsey issues came up and we're in government, I constantly said it. And I think I was with you, Ben, on a show here on galamsey. I remember when I mentioned Tony Oben's name and, you know, all manner of things. I said that galamsey is a social canker. It's a menace that if you politicize, the country will be extinguished. And so we should be careful the manner in which we attempt to politicize galamsey. The reason why now, sometimes when I wake up and I see galamsey issues and the way this government is struggling with it, I feel like, let's just laugh at them. It's because we told them and they knew what we were saying was right.
What did you say?
But we told them that, listen, it is wrong for you to go and stand on a campaign trail as a presidential candidate and our president, John Mama, and tell the people that I don't see why the MPP government will come and arrest you people in the pit. And that's when I come to office, and it's on your portal, my Joy News, I would release all of you galamseyers who were arrested in the pit and give you your excavators and go for the kingpins. That is what he said. We had NDC apparatchiks, top leadership, the current CEO of the Petroleum Hub Corporation, Dr. Tony Oben, and NDC leadership, Kokubuahin and Co, in the galamsey pit, telling galamseyers that the MPP wants to destroy your job. This thing, we've been doing this since ancestors' days, and it's a video, so the fact is there. Vote for us. When we come, the day you hear that we have been announced winners of these elections, come back to the pit and come and dig.
That's not being fair.
No, should I quote you? No, play the video. Play the video. You have the video. Play the video. Play the video. No, Ben. No. Don't do that.
Okay.
You are tuning me and don't do that.
Hang on.
Let me quote. Let me quote. No. If I am telling you facts and you tell me that
part of it,
no, it is fact, not some part. And I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Tony Oben was standing. You have the video. If you really are sure about your position,
all videos here.
No, but I've sent it to Kingsley. I've sent it to Kingsley. If you really are sure, play the video. Tony Oben was there. The parliamentary candidate for that constituency, one Muslim named Sadat also was there. Kokubuahin was there. And these are Kokubuahin's words. The parliamentary candidates' words were also these. Munim say Juma we minimum nyina na eye. MPP for who say abato eba bedu so no. And on masha da eyi soldier for no free aha. Nemo me catch am moto abawie ye mu nyareba. Na da ye to aba no mo master for no omu nya mo na mu nyina mo koto aba ma NDC. Na moto aba ne wie ne abobodi na mo te se mawi ni pe. Mu nyina mo bra na ma galamsey. This is a public video. What are you talking about?
Let's start with the president.
So let me
Dennis, hold for me. So in anticipation you send this video to Kingsley.
No, not in anticipation. I told you that 3 months ago or 4 months ago.
That's interesting.
We're having hold on. We're having this conversation here, and I sent the video to Kisley. He's a producer. He has the video.
Right.
But let's come back to the conversation.
Let's come back to
So
it.
all I am saying is that this attitude and posture of the then opposition is what has led to the escalated nature of galamsey. You know why? Because the people simply think that these are the people who told us that when they come to our life. And so once they are here, it is time for us to
Let me quote one of
we used to do.
Just hold your horses. This story is from December the 3rd, 2024, and this is what the current president says. He says, I know that here in Adanse, and of course we can't look through all of them, but I'm giving one example just to communicate what he was saying. I know that here in Adanse, you deeply value small-scale mining. The NDC will bring policies to support small-scale miners and ensure the land is preserved for future generations.
So you see, the problem I have, and you constantly...
And I'm not saying that this is all of what he said, but this is one of the...
So let me help you. So let me help you. So let me help you. Ghana Web. I'll grant all galamseyers imprisoned under Akufo-Addo amnesty. The 2024 flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, 4 years ago, in the run-up to the 2020 election, promised to pardon all illegal miners who have been imprisoned under Nana Danko Akufo-Addo if he returns to power. Speaking at Edum Bamso in the Mpoho constituency in the Western region, to kickstart his 4-day campaign, Mahama stated that it is ridiculous to have a foreigner engaged in the same illegal activity, released without any prosecution or fine, but sentence our own people to these consequences. The former president added that he would get illegal miners back to the fields to work in a more controlled environment as captured in his party's manifesto. It is sad that government said it was fighting galamsey, and they arrested, prosecuted, and jailed Ghanaians who were engaged in that activity, but left Chinese people to go. Today, they are still in prison. The Chinese galamseyers who were arrested have been left to go free. They were never prosecuted, but our people are in jail. When we come, we shall grant all those arrested and jailed amnesty. They will come back to their homes and work. I believe that these operators are remorseful towards any unlawful activities. So we'll give them another chance. So you see...
But what hold on.
These aspects we have not contested, have we?
No, hold on.
Because these we have even condemned here.
So that's what I'm talking about.
But it's not everything.
So that's the point. So why are you making a point that I haven't made? I am telling you that if you have a former president who is aspiring to be president, tell the people that when I come, those who committed crimes against the state and have been found culpable by a court of competent jurisdiction will be left to go because the government is wicked, because the government is allowing Chinese people to leave the country. And then when you come, basically all you are telling those people is that as for you, you are a friend. And so now that you have come, one, you release us, and two, you're not going to prosecute us and arrest us. That's MFA. You can beat around the bush. You can try to jump around it. That is one of the reasons why today galamsey has gone a top notch higher than it was 4 months ago.
You have just said that. So I've allowed you to make a point. Make your second point.
You just made a point that galamsey has gone a notch higher.
If you don't think so,
where are the metrics to prove?
Then, if you don't think galamsey is got a notch higher,
I want us to
the viewers and the public who are following the story.
Say you're very factual. I'm asking you, based on what are you making?
Based on what metrics? Were you always before now saying that the galamsey and you putting cameras all over the country saying that galamsey was on the rise? Based on what metrics?
No, I mean,
were you doing
based, for example, on passing LI2?
So your metrics today tell you that
based on LI246.
Hang on, gentlemen, hang on.
Man, just take your time. This galamsey matter is not one that we should put PR with it too. It will swallow all of us.
Miracles.
It will swallow all of us.
I think all of us.
Miracles.
Dennis, let's again set the ground rules. We are interviewing you.
Oh no, but I'm also responding to you.
Just
I'm also responding to you in the same manner.
Let's take it easy.
So you recall that you had quoted the former president.
Yes.
And among one of the things that many people have been saying, he said, which is with me, and I want us to even go a little further, is the fact that he says he will, if you're correct, he will release the ones that are working in the pits and go after the kingpins. If you were not a politician and if you were not part of the previous government, what imputation will you put to this?
So that is why the people voted for you. And that's the point I made earlier. So the people voted for you because you said that you go after kingpins. So now you come. 3 months or 4 months in office. you have not shown any single sign of going after the kingpins. Rather, you are still in the pit, arresting the same people you told that you would release. First of all, what you have done is that you have misled them. You have deceived them into believing that you will not come after them.
And so for
now you take them, and then wait, hold on. You remember I quoted the point he made at Adanse on the Chinese people. So you come to office, you said something else before we voted for you. You come to office, you go into the pit, you go and arrest these same boys you said you released, and then now you are deporting the Chinese people that you accused the previous.
Do you recall that at the end of that article that you read, you said that he believes that these people would have been remorse about their actions, so they'll bring them back and provide a more conducive environment for them to work. But so that's what I'm saying. Let's assess the process.
No, but that's what
let's start. So at least in the last 3 months, say 2 months, you may have heard. The conversation started with the repeal of the LI, which the environmental minister has said, the lands and natural resources minister has said that has been laid in parliament. The conversation and the civil societies have said that it looks like an amendment more than a repeal. That's a step we can discuss. You've also heard about the river guards that are being trained to deploy to the river bodies, at least. You may have seen the EPA's assessment and all of that. Are we in any way saying that so far we haven't seen anything at all about this government trying to fight galamsey, no matter how significant? Let's establish that.
Let's have this conversation without interruption, like the way I allowed you to land.
Go ahead, make your point.
So you see, when we have a canker like galamsey, and you have an opposition leader then, His Excellency Mahama, tell you that the government is doing A, it is wrong. It doesn't give a solution. Vote for me, I will do B. The government is doing C. Forget that one because it's not working. Vote for me, I will do D. When you win power, we don't expect you to come and do the A and the C that the previous government is doing, and not to do your B and D. Simply implement what it is that you promised that you will do when it comes to dealing with galamsey. Tell me one thing the government has done in the past 4 months about galamsey that was not in existence as of 7 January 2025 when they took over power. River guards. Do you know when river guards were commissioned in this country by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources? River guards with their boats, with their drones, they have been there all this while. This is not the first batch of river guards. They are still there. So, and it's on your portals. Go to my Joy online. Your news people follow it. So river guards is not something that the government, a novelty that the government has brought, which this country hasn't seen before to fight galamsey. Is that what you promised us? Something that we were doing already, that you claim was not giving us results? That's what you are doing. Number 2, you said you were going to repeal the LI. You didn't say you were going to amend the LI. As it stands now, Mifa, stop the PR. It doesn't seem like an amendment. It is an amendment. The government has taken no step to go and repeal the LI. What the government has done is to take steps to amend the LI. That wasn't the promise. Number 3, you said that when you come to office, you will not go after these boys in the pit, and that you will go after kingpins. In the past 4 months, have you had any kingpin arrested other than the same boys in the pit? As at December 2024, galamseyers in the pit were still being arrested. As at October 2024, on your portal, Mindjoy Online, you were reporting galamseyers who have been arrested by the previous government. So if you are arresting galamseyers in the pit, you have done nothing, because this country has been doing that since 2013. Since 2013, this country has been arresting galamseyers, has been burning excavators, has been moving with military and police into the forest reserves. That is no novelty. You promised the people that when you come, you think that this country's galamsey situation has gotten to the point where our lives are at risk, and it's a national security matter. So you, the president now, you are backing some civil society organizations and calling for a state of emergency, and saying that this country was at a point where we should call for a state of emergency. You have been in government for four months. Galamsey has escalated. Galamsey today is worse than it was in December 2024. Why haven't you called for a state of emergency?
You will say that is worse.
If you don't think so, that's fine.
No, I'm only asking.
That is my view. And the viewers are also out there assessing it. Now, let me tell you. Up until the NDC came to,
and I want you to wrap.
you would not see people in Usino, okay, doing galamsey at Usino market. Today they are doing it in the middle of town. Have you used the Kumasi road recently? Right by the roadside. Your own reporter who has been reporting on galamsey all this while. I quote him. He's here. I'll quote him. And I have had my own issues with Erastus in the past, but I'm quoting him because what he did to us is what he's doing to this same government.
If you had issues with the Erastus reportage, how is it relevant?
No, it's a different matter. It's not important.
It's not. Is it about this?
My views and my opinions is not.
It won't matter.
No,
Miracles.
So this is what he says.
Hang on.
I'm telling you that
it won't be fair. You know that it won't be fair that in the past his reportage you've had a problem.
No. I said I've had my own issues with Erastus.
With him. Is it with him personally?
No, he knows. We banter. He knows. We banter.
Let's move the conversation.
So 19 hours ago, this is what Erastus said. The president cannot watch on for this to happen constantly. I have notified the right authorities, including the sector ministry, but very little agency is attached to it. How can party people lay claim over illegality in such brazen manner across the country and leaders watch on? Galamsey is being done in protected reserves in such brazen manner by known party people who feel entitled because they claim it's their turn. The more we notify authorities, very little is done. These images show current mining in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve and the extreme pollution of the Tano River. How do we allow people with connections to illegally enter a protected forest and degrade it and steal the resources, leaving degraded lands for citizens to pay for? Why is it difficult for authorities to end this crime? The only answer that makes sense is that it involves people close to them. I am saying that if I don't quote Erastus and I quote somebody else, you will say that Miracles is exaggerating.
Okay, make the point.
This is Erastus. Galamsey today is escalated than it was 4 months ago.
Simple question.
The government of the day promised us specific things.
Right.
And I left
think
them.
you've elaborated
One,
enough on
repeal the LI. Two, call for a state of emergency.
Right.
Three, stop arresting the boys in the pit and go after the kingpins. These are specific things you said you will do when you win power. Until you do those things, let me first stop telling the people that the government has done something.
If he achieves it without implementing these three promises, would it be?
Why do you think that what you thought was being done that could not give results?
We're not robots, are we?
No. What is interesting is that
the same results. That's what it is.
Over the last how many weeks we've been talking about the same points. I've spoken time without number about LI 2462 and that it must be revoked, not amended. In fact, if you read some of the research by Arusha Ghana, they talk about how much more forest reserves we can get secure, over 60% if we revoke, rather than about 10% if we amend. The bit you are talking about a state of emergency, we've sat here. I have engaged eco-conscious citizens. I've participated in their programs. And we've all lambasted this administration on those same points. So you are literally preaching to the choir on those.
No, I'm not talking to
those very. As for those very points,
but the point that we all. No, but then don't come and tell me that this government is doing it.
Let me.
But they've done nothing new.
No, we're asking. So in 4 months, comparing to 8 years, you think that this government is still on the same journey as?
But the things I've mentioned to you, the things you mentioned that they've done, they are things that were done. They were still in place as of January 7th. Mention one new thing. There's nothing new. Mention one new thing that this government has done on Galamsey. One. You don't have.
Is that a concession then? If you say that all the mechanisms have failed, is that a concession that throughout your 8 years, your mechanisms at tackling Galamsey were also failures?
If you followed my conversation on Galamsey, you'd realize that, yes, that's my answer. Because I have always said that the manner in which we politicize Galamsey is the reason why these mechanisms are failing. And that is why I recently even made a post. I think even Erastus made a comment on it, and we had our own banter. That's a different matter. I think that MPP in particular shouldn't go the path the NDC went when they were in opposition. That is my view. I think that no matter how much this government would have lied to the people to power on this Galamsey matter, we should put politics aside and not play politics with it and work with the government to get Galamsey solved. Until we depoliticize Galamsey, it doesn't matter the strategy MFI will put in place. It would not work. When you read every...
That definitely, and because I want us to...
It will not work.
I think it's common knowledge.
It will not work.
That problem.
You
Because
understand? And
everyone will tell you that both parties are neck deep. They have people in it. But we don't have all the time to talk about that.
Today you are saying both parties. In 2024 December, you said MPP people.
Oh, because at the time...
It is NDC people, not both parties. Today, the galamseys are NDC people, not both parties. No MPP person is in the pit. When you go and the NPP person in the pit, arrest him, jail him for life. It is NDC people who are doing galamsey.
Have you identified one NDC person?
Yes, your news portal, this your station, show the video. Yes. Your station, show the video of NDC chairman almost strangling a military officer and asking him why he's in the pit. So yes, your station
so that makes him a galamseer.
Yes, but he's an NDC guy, and he's a galamseer. And your own reporter has constantly been giving indicators of those who are doing it.
Let's have a
the point I am making is that
you say there are no mechanisms. I just want to find gold board. The gold board. What do you think about it?
Gold board
will it help in